Oh man, Charlotte potatoes, duck fat, garlic, caramelized onions, red and white onions, bell peppers, wonderful seasonings, some herbs, and did I say duck fat? We are talking skillet potatoes. It's no wonder these potatoes have a reputation for being addictive. Today we are doing Chef Walter's skillet potatoes. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, let us know you're out there by giving us a big thumbs up below and then hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video. Now, let's start cooking. So for this recipe, this is one of my very favorite potato recipes. And we are using, of course, ingredients are always the key. So we are using some Charlotte potatoes, which are absolutely delicious. We are leaving the skins on. We've washed them. We're leaving the skins on. And that's going to be the main part of our dish. But the key to this dish is duck fat. And I'm telling you, if you've never tried duck fat, you really need to give it a try. It's very common here in France where we live, but you can certainly get it in the States at, specialty stores. It may be a little bit expensive, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful fat to cook with. It's actually better for you than pork fat. So, and the flavor is just unmistakably delicious. So we've got our potatoes, we've got our duck fat, we've got some garlic, we've got two types of onions. I've got white onions and red onions. And then I've just I've diced up some bell peppers, red, green, and yellow bell peppers. And now the other key to this is the seasonings. So we're seasoning this with my favorite seasoning, which is Berbere. Berbere is an Ethiopian spice mix that can be a little bit hot, but you want to use it with caution. But man, what a great flavor. We've got some garlic powder, we've got some ground cumin, and a little bit of smoked paprika. And then we will finish it off with some fresh herbs, and you can use whatever herbs you want. Today I've got some curly parsley, I've got some cilantro, and I just went out and got some rosemary from the garden. So we're just going to mix in several herbs. If you don't have fresh herbs, of course you could certainly use the dried herbs in the bottle. Then just our salt and pepper, and we are off to the races. Let's get started. All right, so for our potatoes, what we're doing is we're just cutting them into fairly large chunks. This is really all about the potatoes. So we are just, these Charlotte potatoes are just, a pretty small size. So we're going to cut these into probably about 1 inch chunks, something like that. And if you can't find Charlotte potatoes, you could certainly get Yukon Golds, or even the red waxy potatoes are fine for this. But it's really all about the potatoes and the flavorings. So we are just cutting these up. And as I said earlier, our vegetables have been cut into a dice, about 1/2 inch dice. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover our potatoes with some fresh tap water. All right. So anytime you are going to be cooking potatoes, you want to start them out in cold water. And the reason you do that is because potatoes tend to cook from the outside. If you put them in hot water, the outside will be cooked, the inside won't be cooked, and it's not going to be the result that you want. So we're just covering our potatoes with some fresh water. We are going to put our garlic cloves in. We've got whole garlic cloves in here in our water. And we're going to add some kosher salt or coarse sea salt to our water. And this is important. You want to make sure you add plenty of salt to that. So I've got, 4 or 5 medium to small to medium sized potatoes. I've added just a handful of coarse salt to that. We're going to bring this to the boil. Once it comes to the boil, we're going to turn it down and let it boil on a low boil for probably 10 minutes. We're not trying to cook them all the way through. We're just trying to partially cook them. They're really going to be parboiled. So that's that's it for our potatoes, and we will let those cook and we'll move on from there. Our potatoes came to the boil and they are nice and tender. They're not cooked all the way through yet, but we're just going to put those aside. And what we'll do now is get our skillet going, and we're going to add our duck fat. A healthy amount, probably a couple of tablespoons of duck fat, because again, we've got a lot of potatoes to put in here and a lot of vegetables. While our duck fat is melting and skillet's coming to the heat, we're just going to cut our herbs. So I've already trimmed them from the branches, and we're just going to chop them. And I've reserved a little bit of the parsley for the top of our potatoes, just for a little bit of garnish at the end. So we're just going to drain our potatoes, and we're just going to strain them. I'm just going to run a little bit of cool water over them just to stop the cooking, just to make sure that they're not going to continue cooking. And we'll reserve those in our other pot. And now our oil, or our duck fat, is nice and heated up. So we'll toss in our onions. And what we're going to do is we're going to partially cook the onions and the bell peppers. So first of all, we're just going to kind of make sure that our onions get nice and soft. So we'll let these cook probably for about 5 to 7 minutes. Then we'll add our peppers, because this dish, it is a potato dish, but we want to make sure that we actually taste the peppers as well. So that is a big part of the dish. And we're on about a medium-high heat at this point. Onions are going. Let's add a little bit of salt to our onions, as we always do when we're sweating onions. What that does is it helps to draw out the moisture and get them, kind of starts the seasoning process. All right, our onions are nice and soft, so we will now add our bell peppers, and we are well on our way. Just get those nice and mixed in. And again, we're still on a medium-high to high heat. Just trying to get everything mixed in nicely. And you could certainly do this with a cast iron skillet if you wanted to. Eventually what will happen is when we stick the potatoes in, there's going to be some more moisture that comes out, and things will hopefully start sticking to the bottom. And that's actually a good thing, because we like that caramelization and those crispy bits that come out of that. So we'll let these peppers go for a little bit, and then we will add our potatoes. Okay, our onions and bell peppers have cooked nicely, and everything is nice and soft and starting to caramelize just a little bit. So what we'll do now, our potatoes have been draining, so we'll just go ahead and add our potatoes to the pot. And we'll just get everything stirred in. And the timing of this kind of depends on how well cooked your potatoes are when you put them in with the rest of the vegetables. So if you go a little far with your potatoes, just wait a little bit longer before you add them to the vegetables. Or if they're a little bit less done when you take them out of the water, then you can add them straight away into your vegetables. And you may recall that we've got garlic in here, and those are going to be absolutely delicious. When you boil garlic, it takes away the sharpness of the garlic, but boiling it in that water with the salt really brings out some wonderful flavors in it. And them cooking with the with the rest of the vegetables and the potatoes. And then we're going to add our herbs and seasonings to this. It's going to be fantastic. So, you know, there's going to be 4 pieces of garlic in there that some lucky person might be able to get one of them. So we'll let these cook for a little bit, and then we'll do our seasoning. Our potatoes have been going now for probably 5 minutes since we added them. And what's happening is what we want to happen. We want things to start sticking to the bottom a little bit, and that's what's going on. You can tell as I push my spoon through it that or through my spatula through it, that I'm getting a little resistance. And if you can see this right here, that's the good stuff. So we're not trying to burn anything, but that is just some wonderful, wonderful flavor when you have those bits that are stuck to the skillet. So at this point, we probably have another 5 minutes before they're ready to go. But now we can start our seasoning. So in the seasoning here is really to your taste. So I'm just going to do a nice sprinkle of our cumin, our smoked paprika, and these are gently flavored with these spices. Berbere, like I said, is a hot one, so take it easy with that one. And even though we have garlic in here, we want to do a little bit of garlic powder just to make sure all of the potatoes get those seasonings. And then we've got our fresh cut herbs that we'll put in close to the very last minute. And this is looking and smelling incredible. Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's just let that cook for a little bit more, get a little bit more caramelization on our potatoes, and we'll be ready to go. To finish our potatoes, wow, the aroma is just incredible, and you can kind of smell it when things are starting to stick and you're starting to get that almost burnt smell, but that is what we're after. Look at that. When things start sticking, that's when you know it's getting right. Look at that. That is just nothing but flavor. Now, some may say, well, what if I can't get duck fat? Because, you know, you may not be able to get duck fat everywhere. Well, duck fat is really what makes this special. But if you can't get duck fat, you could use beef fat. You could use, bacon fat is fantastic. It's just that duck fat is just such a wonderful, unique flavor. And if all else fails, you can certainly use olive oil, but it's not the same dish. I can promise you that. So now we are just about ready to take these out. I'm just going to go ahead and add my black pepper, some fresh cracked black pepper in here. And we will stir in our fresh herbs. And this part is definitely key as well. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off at this point because we don't want to cook our herbs. We just want them to flavor the dish. Oh man, look at that. Very nice. All right, we are ready to serve these up. All right, the time we've been waiting for is here, and I'm telling you what, these potatoes smell so incredible, and it's a beautiful dish. And we've just got perfect caramelization on our onions and our bell peppers. Let's just grab one of the potatoes here. Look at that. Oh. Just really wonderful flavor. Talk about umami. I mean, you've got, garlic in there. You've got the flavor from the peppers. You've got Berbere, which of course, like I said, is just a wonderful seasoning with such deep flavor. A little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin. None of these spices are overdone. It's just really nicely balanced. and then the fresh herbs there at the end. This is just a fantastic dish. And you know, for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, it goes with so many different things. I hope you'll give this a try. And if you like this video, hit that like button down below, and be sure and subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified every time we release a new video. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you next time.